Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 200 of Kouryer Podcast. And yes, this is the season finale of not episode two, season two of the podcast. And well, as you can imagine, after the episode 100, the color was a certain color of green, like a pistachio green. Then it was kind of like a hue of blue for the second season. Now, I don't know what will be the next color of the season three will be. Let me know in the comments, what you prefer. I might go with yellow. I might go with the hue of yellow or red or something. It's all I always change the color, every of the graphics every 100 episode. And I also need to quickly mention a couple of things. If right now it's the 13th of December of 2022, 8:40 p.m. Turkey time, as of recording of this episode. And right now, I think if you're watching this in the future, or if you're watching this in a couple of days on YouTube, or listening to this an audio version on Spotify or Castbox, there's a high chance you're one of my Iranian followers. And to you, I want to say, please stay safe, take care, and I hope all this, thing that's going on in our country will go away soon. And yeah, that's about that. And I also want to dedicate this episode as well to my father, who passed away 3 months ago. And I think I'll put a post on the podcast channel, I think even before the whole issue started in Iran, that I'm going to take a hiatus from podcasting. And that was the main reason and culprit of this situation. But I'm slowly getting back into podcasting. Of course, I won't be as, active as before. And I think you even probably saw the image of my dad at the beginning of this, episode. That was him. And yeah, I want to dedicate to him, because without him, I couldn't do any of this. So yeah, thanks, Dad. All right. So the thing is, let's go into the introduction of this, our episode. Actually, fun fact, me and Idil Dursun were supposed to we actually tried to do this episode 3 months ago. But thankfully, in a sense, for her bad internet connection, she was going to episode 199. But because of that, she's in episode 200. So see, you got to see the positive of everything, And all right, so our today's guest for episode 200 is Idil Dursun, or also known as Jarvin Art. She's an architect, CGI artist, and environment concept artist from Ankara, Turkey. And of course, before we get into the signature question of the podcast and everything, you can go into the for contact section of the captions. You can find the ID to her Instagram account, the links to her art station, Linktree, and her Twitter profile as well. So if you want to go follow her there and check out her works as well, you can go there. And all right, so that's all the introduction from me. How are you doing today?
Hi, Ramtain. Thank you so much for having me. Actually, we were trying to do this episode since 1 year, we were talking months back before.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Setting up the 3 months ago one. And then, yeah. So finally we're doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, actually, don't feel bad about the whole 1 year thing. I'm super consistent with my
I know.
and stubborn about my invites, because I have a whole system for this podcast. I don't do this off my memory, because I have a really bad brain and memory. This is not my friend. I have to control it. And yeah, I always write, all right, Jarvin Art. I message her at March 2021. All right. Oh, she said 3 months later. So in my notepad, I write, contacts, June, 2021, and it keeps going and going, and finally we're here,
Yeah, and you were super persistent. Yeah, you actually DM'd me with all of this moments that you told me that you were going to get back to me. So yeah, I'm just so happy we're finally doing this. Yeah.
No, it's professionals have a standards. Let me just put it that way. I'm like that with all the guests, by the way. My record was I was in contact with a guest for 482 days once until I got them episode with him. I'm not gonna name names, but he was a bit of an unpleasant person, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not gonna name names, but yeah. All you need to know that it was a he. All right. All right. So let's get into the signature question of the podcast, which is, give us a little introduction on how you got into the world of visual arts and design, basically. The story of how you become an artist.
Yeah. So I have been an artist all my life. When I was 4 years old, I was just painting with crayons and sketching with whatever. And then in middle school, I started doing acrylic paintings. And meanwhile, I was just sketching, but all of those were super amateur. I don't have any kind of art background or something. I had like a few art classes, but yeah, I was bored afterwards. And then in high school, I was still like getting better at sketching and everything. And throughout this, like since I was 6 years old, I wanted to be an architect. So in college, I got into the architecture school. And like I realized I love like designing stuff, but I don't like the physics part. So yeah, meanwhile, I was also like a huge fan of video games and everything. And I was also like following my favorite video game concept artists on Instagram, you know. So I kind of decided when I was in third year of college that I want to be an like a concept artist rather than, you know, just doing architecture. And then I got a job at an architectural visualization office, which like I love doing that as well, you know, just architectural renderings and stuff. Yeah. And that was in 2020. Yeah, I graduated from architecture school in 2020. And by then I was like learning these like 3D softwares and some like, you know, not color theory, but how to use color and make these pretty renders and environments. So when I was going home back from work, I decided to do my own like concept arts. I also loved cyberpunk so much. Like I've been following Anibay Özkanalfi and Tanguez and other like, you know, like known cyberpunk like dystopian environment artists for so long. So I wanted to give it a chance myself. And yeah, like in 2020, basically, I started doing my like known usual style. And yeah, in 2021 March, I got into NFTs, but yeah, that's maybe a different story, or I don't know, you know, like since then I've been doing like all my personal stuff. Yeah.
All right. Actually, in the later on in the episode, we can talk about NFTs, you know, and your whole
Yeah.
experience with it as well. But you know, first let's go through some of the preliminary questions first, which you know you kind of mentioned. I kind of mentioned in the intro that you're an environment concept artist, but could you please tell us what is your main branch of design, you know, and arts right now, and what basically the discipline of art you're focusing on right now, and tell us about your experience from the start of it until now.
Yeah. So like I'm using 3ds Max as my main 3D software, and I'm rendering with Kouryer renderer, and then I use Photoshop. So my artworks are like matte paintings, if you can say, like 3D based like sceneries, like huge landscapes mostly, or maybe sometimes like street views or whatever, like cityscapes, either like super dystopic or like utopic or whatever. And then I like to like photobash on them on Photoshop, because I don't like doing all 3D, but I love working on my artworks, like the details and everything on Photoshop as well. So yeah, like that's my process. That's like mainly my like usual style, I guess.
All right. So you kind of also explained, you know, you just hit two birds with one stone with that question, because my next question was literally, you know, how does your design process usually go?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
I can go into more detail on that,
Yeah,
you know,
actually,
like
if you could, that'd be awesome.
yeah. Because like some of my artworks, I like if I have an like a exact idea in mind, it just changes my workflow like completely, because like some of my artworks are so like mostly 3D, and some of them are mostly like, you know, photo bash or like paint over or something like that. So mostly what I do is I just open 3ds Max and I create this like basic scene with either like cubes or kit bashes or whatever. And then like if I like need something super specific, I model it myself, else I'll just edit kit bashes and whatever. And then I render it, and then I go to Photoshop and I like either change the artwork completely there, like for real. If you could see like my like actual renders, like base renders on my finished product, you wouldn't believe it, because they're like so completely different, because I love just changing stuff on Photoshop. But yeah, it changes from artwork to artwork, or my mood, or what's the idea or whatever. But I can say that I'm enjoying the second part better, you know, because I feel more free, like drawing or like working on my artworks on Photoshop. So yeah.
And here's the thing: speak of the devil. Suddenly, when we reached minute 10, your internet lagged a bit, and I was like,
Oh
"Oh
really?
shit! No, no, it's
Oh
good now. It's good
no.
now. No, 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 it's good now. It's good
Okay.
now." But I was just like,
Okay.
"Oh shit, not again."
Okay.
And actually, if you remember, we kind of logged out around like minute 11 or something. Last time.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I hope it's good now. Okay.
Yeah, actually, if you remember, I kind of messaged you and said, "Hey, let's cancel this for later because some stuff happened." Yeah, the same
Yeah.
stuff that happened and I explained to you before the podcast. That was the
Okay.
reason I canceled actually.
Okay. If
And
it's good now, yeah, we can continue. If it's not,
yeah,
we
it's
can
good
just
now. No, no, it's
postpone
good.
it.
It's good. It's no, 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 no more
Okay.
postponement. No, no, no.
Okay.
All right, no.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to the next question, which is actually pretty interesting, which is what was the first art job paycheck you ever got, and what was it for, and how did you feel at the time when you got it?
Like as a freelancer or
Just anything, the first ever time you got some cash from art.
from art. Like, well, my first office work will count for that, I guess, because I was pretty much doing art there as well. So that can be it. Or in 2021, I created this like environment concept arts for a game, but I don't know if they actually released it yet, so I cannot give any names. But yeah, it was like last year for a freelance job for a video game.
And speaking of video games, what was your favorite, game from this past year, and especially Game Awards happened as well.
Yeah, so my like all-time favorite video game is World of Warcraft. I told you about this before as well, and they just like launched a new expansion. But yeah, can you hear me now? I thought I lagged a little bit. Is it
Yeah,
fine?
I can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
everything's fine. Don't worry.
Okay, great. Yeah. So they just released an expansion like a couple days ago, but I cannot play it right now because I have all of these works, everything. And in order to play World of Warcraft, you should just give up on your personal life. You don't have a life if you play World of Warcraft. But yeah, I also like played Cyberpunk a little bit on PlayStation, but not that much. But yeah, my all-time favorite one is World of Warcraft, definitely.
All right,
Which
and
yeah, actually inspired me a lot, like being a concept artist as well. Like just watching the cinematics and everything. And they're like cinematic art director Anthony F. is one of my like favorite artists ever, which is just yeah, I want to say that.
yeah, and I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Oh yeah, I remember. Do you know that DJ Khaled meme where he's like suffering from success, kind of like that? Do you know that
No,
meme?
no.
You're kind of like that meme too. Oh, I can play video games because I have all these works and commissions. Life's so bad. Oh my god,
Yeah. Well, man, sometimes you just need to, just have to like go do your antisocial things, once
Yeah,
in
I
a
know.
while. But
You
yeah,
need
I,
space. I
I
know.
cannot, I cannot find that time for a long time for myself. But yeah,
Yeah, but it's kind of funny. I'll send you the meme later, so you
yeah,
can get
okay,
the context. You can get the reference.
yeah.
And another interesting question I have you ever used your dreams as source of inspirations for your artworks?
Um. Okay, so I don't really remember my dreams if I don't think about them after like 5 seconds later I wake up. Not necessarily dreams, but my most efficient time during the day is when I go to bed and close my eyes, and my brain just wouldn't shut up. And at that moment, like at that 20 minutes, I think of like all of these like artwork ideas, like five, six of them, and then I note them to my phone. And I don't know if I did any of that yet, but I have this like this idea book, like an agenda, and that's like full of thumbnails that I thought of during that process. When I go to bed, my brain just wouldn't shut up because I've been working all day and it's full with ideas and everything. And that's like the most efficient time of the day for me. So that doesn't count as a dream, but yeah. I don't remember if I did one of my dreams, actually. I don't really remember. I don't think so. My dreams are too weird and they're not really about like environments or stuff. It's just, I don't know, weird shit. Yeah.
Actually, I noticed something about dreams. It's I don't want to go off track a lot, but I realize, when you have some source of trauma or anxiety, you usually tend to see, dreams are weird, by the way. But
Yeah.
here's what I've noticed in most people and my friends and around me, and just sometimes myself. Um, Dreams when you don't have any source of anxiety in real
Yeah.
life or trauma, they usually just obscure random stuff. But when you have some sort of trauma, you get symbolic dreams. You get
Yeah. Yeah.
like last night, I'm not gonna go into details. I have nightmares every night, by the way. Like, it's nothing normal, but one of the part of my nightmare last night was I recorded the episode 199 of the podcast and the audio was shit. That was my nightmare,
Good. Oh no.
honestly. See, it's a kind of
Yeah.
always a constant anxiety for me for the audio to be good.
Yeah.
And but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It
just something
affects you deeply. Yeah. 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 I know what you mean. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
or sometimes you may have dreams of presenting your work somewhere and suddenly everything goes to shit, and you can't.
Yeah, I had a bunch of them when I was studying architecture, like seeing nightmares when I'm like all humiliated in front of the jury and everyone. It's just yeah, it's definitely related to anxiety and everything. But other than that, you're just seeing this weird, like, I don't know, like whatever the fuck
This meme
you're seeing.
compilation
Yeah,
on your brain.
yeah.
All right. So, speaking of artists, you mentioned, Danguiz and a bunch of other artists that are, some of your favorites. But now I want more names from you. Who are some of your favorite artists and designers that have inspired you the most?
Okay, so like definitely, Annabelle Scanofi is my number one because I've been following him for such a long time when I was studying architecture, and then later I found out that he is also an architect and he also worked in architectural visualization. So our backgrounds are like similar as well. So like my first trials of environment concept art is actually like pretty inspired by him, which is like super visible as well, and it was just such a good motivation to me that I am not friends with him. It's just great that we have communicated, like we have connected on like Twitter, and it's just so great because he's one of my idols, and I told him, like tell him this every day pretty much. But yeah, other than that, like I have so many other names. Like Rafael Acosta is one of my like favorite artists as well. He is the art director of oh my god.
Assassin's Creed.
Yes, thank you. I was gonna say like Prince of Persia or something. Maybe that was like another one of his works. I don't even know. Okay, yeah, it was great. And Donglu, which she worked with him as well. And Dangris, I already told you, but like lately I've been like not lately, but since like 1 or 2 years, like Alberto Mielgo is just he is just out of this world, man. Just he is the art director of The Witness of Love, Death, Robots,
Yeah.
and the last episode, Dural, and Spider-Man and the Watch Dogs trailer. He's just freaking amazing. He is like combining 3D, 2D in such a way that you can't even understand like how the fuck does he do this? It's just out of this world. Yeah, he's just my current biggest inspiration, I may say, which inspires my like current artworks a lot as well.
Interesting. And any advice and tips for a good portfolio and resume for an artist, in your opinion?
Like what kind of advice? Like any kind of advice. I don't have an architectural portfolio, so I'm like the
Concept art advice for.
okay, so I don't have an art portfolio. So I don't think I'm the one to give any advices on that right now. But yeah, I don't know. Like
All
I
right.
should prepare it someday. But like preparing portfolio is like the worst thing to me, because I haven't been doing freelance stuff for a long time now. Like the last time I did a freelance was last year. Other than that, it's just my like personal artworks and my personal projects.
All right. And speaking of, no, we talked about artists that inspired you, but now I want to ask you about the subjects that inspired you a lot. To make your artwork. Have you been doing this type of environments even before the boom of NFTs, or were the NFTs a catalyst for you to dive deeper into this, genres of, dystopian, kind of cyberpunkish type of stuff you've been doing?
No, like I've been into this stuff like way before NFTs. Like I said, I think I was like in high school when I first like started to realize that I have such a like I was like fascinating with like cyberpunk and dystopian stuff. That's what I say. I was following these artists on Instagram, and it wasn't until later college that I actually found the time to try things out myself, because like during college, during architecture education, I didn't have like time at all to actually produce these kinds of things myself. So after I graduated, I just started like doing things with my knowledge from my office work, my like daytime work, and my architecture education. So NFTs, like the best thing about them is you communicate and connect with so many artists, which influence your art as well, because you're seeing this amazing art every day at your feet, on your feed. But these cyberpunk and dystopian things like just goes way back. I wish I had time before to do, just my own stuff before, like back then. But yeah, I don't know, which is fine.
Yeah, I can definitely, kind of relate to you on that regard, when you don't have really time to do what your
Yeah,
heart wants.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad they're actually, have been, successful, at just doing what you love.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the Zencaster says you're offline. Is everything okay?
I think that's everything okay right now. I got the notification for like 1 second
All
as
right,
well.
let's take a break actually. All right, so we're back again. There was some delay, and issues, with our, connection. So yeah, we took a break and we're back. So the next question I wanted to ask you was, what are you working on right now that you can tell us about? What kind of project is it? I mean, of course, if there's any NDA involved, we can skip right past this question. But if that's not the case, tell us what you're doing right now.
So right now, yeah, it's kind of like all like secret NDA projects, but I'm working on this artwork for hopefully gonna be released next year someday. Yeah, so yeah, I cannot really talk anything about it, because it's like super NDA. But yeah, I'm actually rendering it right now in the other room, and other than those, I'm working on a personal project which I really haven't told anyone about before. But I can tell that it's going to be like more like 2D, mostly gonna be 2D, like illustration style, but mixed with 3D, which again, like I said, I'm like super inspired by Alberto Miago's style lately, and I'm trying to like build my own kind of style, getting inspiration from his work. But yeah, I'm just super new at that, obviously. So I'm just having fun with like my iPad, like drawing and coloring right now. Yeah. Other than that, it's all like until April, I have my own like commissioned works, my own like this personal project, and some drops are gonna happen on the NFT scene as well. So yeah.
All right, and well. What area beside the area you're working on right now would you be interested to explore and learn in the future? Basically, what other future hobbies or goals or ambitions you have aside from art that you want to, pursue?
Yeah. So like my hobbies, except for art, is that I'm a huge metalhead. I love to go to like concerts and like listen to music. Like if you ever like see our house, it's always like this pirate metal playing in the background, and I'm just enjoying that so much. Um, Other than that, I love having a chill time with my friends, having a cup of coffee and stuff like that. Like normal human people stuff. um my ambition says I really want to do like a, it's not an ambition but like a goal for me, like a VR artwork today. And also I want to do like a short animation movie, like I don't know, like 7 minutes, 10 minutes, kind of something like that, but it takes a lot of fucking time. So I also have to like build a proper workflow for my art and my like the softwares that I use. So I don't know when that's gonna happen, but yeah.
All right, like 7 minutes is actually pretty big for a short movie, actually.
Definitely, yeah. But yeah, it's not gonna be like maybe like 7 minutes in one like one huge thing, but I can maybe like chapter it because I have some like narratives in my mind. I can just split it to chapters and yeah, let's see how it goes. I don't know.
All right, so let's just quickly go through one a topic that's been super hot in the past couple of months. Let's to say the least. And no, I'm not talking about Andrew Tate. I'm talking about something else that's been another thing that's been spreading through this whole internet that's been taking over everything right now, which is AI and AI
Yeah.
art. Another polarizing topic in art, same before that was NFTs, now AI. Yeah, the thing that I learned, just observing the whole art communities as a whole, in the past couple of years is that it's best to not get polarized and just keep an open mind and see both sides. And at the same time, try to distinguish, what are the goods and bads, especially the bads, to be honest, to be addressed.
Mhm.
For example, listen, as a 3D artist, I would love it if an AI does a topology and all the manual labor stuff. But why do people want to take away the fun part of it? Because the AI, this is my just personal opinion, and I'm going to give you a turn to tell yours. But like this AI is obvious. Like anything that's has like a scent of capital, it's like breadcrumbs of capitalism to it. It will ruin the creativity and like the fun of the art, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And this is my personal opinion. I like sure for manual labor parts, AI could be an amazing tool, but when it comes to just these studios like there was a meme. I'm just gonna say this, explain the meme. I think that describes my whole stance on this. There was a Scooby Doo meme where they caught the villain, and when they take off the mask of the villain, it's like basically when the villain had the mask on, it was like AI art shields and stuff like that. When they took the mask off, it's the same crypto and NFT shields and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that explains my whole stance on it in a sense. But we want to hear from you. It's your episode after all.
Yeah, so I think like AI is definitely like a huge technologic like improvement, and I think if it used properly, it will be make our lives so much easier as artists. I don't think it will ever like take the place of artists, but it will just hopefully make our lives better. Like you said, like the manual, like the labor job that no one wants to do, it can be like super easy for like process and everything. But the key point here is to use it wisely, like lately we've been talking about this with my friends as well, and the biggest issue right now is about the copyrights, which is a very interesting subject. And I get that people are like super like, I don't know, when it comes to copyrights, it just it somehow needs to be balanced. Like somehow we should find a way that AI doesn't take all of the, like steal all of the artworks that other artists are making, which I think like I'm not sure. Like I think Delhi is using those like artworks that you're uploading into their system, and then later on it's using it as an input, and then for further generations, it's using that artwork from its database, right? So yeah, that can be a huge red flag, and I wouldn't mind art to be like used in like random generations as well. But yeah, I think like I'm optimistic about AI art. I like don't I don't want to say like too much about the subject, because I know like some people are like sensitive about this, or they can get just um, I don't know. But yeah, I tried Mid Journey a couple months back first, and I think it's a really great tool for generating textures, like photo mesh bases. I tried it once, like generated this like cyberpunk style like textures and stuff, and I took it to Photoshop and I overpainted on it, and it was just perfect. And I think if it's used wisely, it's a great tool, but on its own, I don't know, it's like a very like I don't know how to say. but everyone has their own opinions right now, and it's like super early because it's gone public pretty recently. So I guess we'll see in time.
Yeah. Well. We finally reached the final question of the episode after actually after a year. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a poetic end to this episode. And all right, the last question and section of the podcast is called time capsule, and I think from the name of it you can already understand what it is. Basically, imagine you're recording the footage and it's going to be placed in a time capsule, and at any point of time in the future people can will might watch it or see it or listen to it, and who knows how many years in the future this time capsule will still be intact. But basically, what do you have to say to anyone who is listening or watching this episode at any point of time in the future? You could say anything. What does Idil Dursun has to say?
Okay. So I think I would say that like it's something that I am saying to myself right now as well, to never stuck on one style, even if it's your like main style that you're known of. Just try and experiment with different things, because only then you can find your own true unique style, if that makes sense. Just always try to be like experimental. Just look at some references and I don't know, just try different things. I'm saying this to like anyone who is, an illustrator, a 3D artist, or whatever. I'm like, I took illustration classes 2 months ago, and it was so refreshing. I took illustration and drawing classes. It was so refreshing because I want to show people my art, even if I don't have like 3ds Max there with me at that point. I want to be somehow have a little bit of knowledge with like everything, with every tool, not every tool, but I think that's important.
All right, it's interesting. My last answer to this question was, someone said, don't put pineapple on pizza. Someone said,
I
like,
love pineapple on pizzas. Who said that? That's the best thing ever.
all right, go buy yourself some body armor, because some people might try to shoot you for saying that.
Wasn't that great? Oh my god.
And yeah, but that was actually great as well. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for coming for this episode and just putting up with all the technical difficulties that happen. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And where can people contact you and find you if they had a question? Is Instagram and Twitter okay?
Yeah. They're both at Jarvin Art in both platforms.
They're both in the captions of this episode as well. So no worries. Yeah. Anyone who's listening or watching, you can find it there. And thank you to you. Yes, you, dear viewer who is watching on YouTube, or you're just listening on Spotify or other audio platform. Thank you for following along, on the journey of 200 episodes. My plan is to reach at least episode 1000. Like that's like a milestone that I've put for myself for a long time, and we're 1/5 of the way done. I need to do this 4 more times, 200 episodes 4 more times to get there. And oh boy, it's gonna take a lot of time. And I hope you're enjoying this as well. And yeah, let's see what the future holds. All right, take care, everyone. Stay safe, and till next episode, which is going to be recorded soon, actually. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.